How we doing? Good. I'd like to welcome you to Congress Hall. This is where the United States Congress met while Philadelphia was the nation's capital. That time period being 1790 to the year 1800. Now keep in mind this building was not built to house the United States Congress. This building was built and served as the Philadelphia County Courthouse. But when the nation's capital came to Philadelphia, a lot of local buildings were loaned to the federal government. So this building goes from being a Philadelphia County Courthouse to housing the United States Congress. This was a House of Representatives. Senate met upstairs on the second floor, and we will see that momentarily. Come inside, have a seat.
Thank you.
Seating in the House was very important because it's based on population, meaning the more people that you have in your state, the more representatives you would have in the House of Representatives speaking for your respective states. When Congress first meets here, there's only 65 seats in this room. That's because they took a guess as to how many people they thought were in the country. 1790 marked the first census. Once the census results came back, it became very obvious they had underestimated. To accurately represent the people properly, the seating in this room would have to go from 65 to 106, which is approximately what we have here now. And as far as we know, this was the seating arrangements. Chairs and desks in which we are seated are reproductions made to look like what was here at that point in time. As far as we know, the representatives did not necessarily have assigned seating. They were paid $6 a day if and when they showed up. Didn't show up, didn't get paid. While they were here, they added 3 new states. They were Vermont, Kentucky, and Tennessee. They ratified the Bill of Rights, adding the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And on the platform here, reserved for the Speaker of the House, John Adams was sworn in as the second President of the United States, marking the very first peaceful transfer of power in this country. George Washington was sworn in for his second term as President upstairs in the Senate, which we're about to see momentarily. The public could come and watch the Senate in session. They would sit upstairs in the gallery, and the press would be reporting on different activities. During the winter months, there are 6 fireplaces in the room, 3 on that wall, 3 on the back wall. So during the winter months, it was much to their advantage to basically get here early and get a seat close to the fireplace. If you would like to take a picture of this room, it's best to do it before we go upstairs to the Senate, because when we come back down to the Senate, chances are there'll be another group here beginning their tour of Congress Hall. They're along the wall. Yes, 3 on this wall, 3 on the back wall. To get to the Senate, we're going through the double doors, up the stairs to the door. Usually do this at 8:30.
Okay.
And then they're kind of distributed. It's pretty soon, have to take them off.
Oh, they space them out. It's not overwhelming people.
No, we take 8 first, we're 15 minutes, we can also take it online. There's only 40% of the allowed the order online. Sometimes you can on for the whole day by like 10 to 30.
Yeah, okay. So over there, is there the rebalance now? Is that?
No, the movie bill's right here.
Okay.
Those are showing the benchmark.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And you step up to the Senate, please move to the left or to the right. As you look out into the Senate, you can tell it's not as crowded as downstairs. Each senator had their own desk, their own chair, and a higher grade of furniture. In the Senate, it does not matter how big your state is or how many people you have in your state. It's equal representation, 2 senators per state. This room is set up to represent 16 states as opposed to just the original 13. Basically representing the first 13 states plus the 3 that were added, Vermont, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Out of the 32 tables and chairs, 24 of them are original. The head chair, looking somewhat like a throne, was reserved for the Vice President. Vice President presides over the Senate. First one would have been John Adams, then followed by Thomas Jefferson. As I mentioned downstairs, George Washington was sworn in for his second term as president in the Senate chamber. The senators that met here from 1790 to the year 1800 could have cared less about what the common everyday person thought about them, their voting record, or any legislation that they passed. These senators were not elected by the people. They were appointed by state legislators and or governors. Senators will not be elected by the people until 1913. It took the Constitutional Amendment to change that. It was in fact the 17th Amendment to the Constitution that finally allowed the public to elect their senators. The carpet that you see is a reproduction of the carpet that was here. In the center of the carpet, you see the Great American Seal with the stars, the stripes, the eagle, the olive branch, the arrows. Surrounding the Great American Seal, you see a series of interlocking circles. Each one of those interlocking circles displays one of the original 13 states, and inside that interlocking circle displays that particular state's coat of arms. Right above you is the base of a gallery where the public can watch the Senate in session, but with the Senate, you had to have a particular pass to view the Senate. Coming down to the Senate chamber, you may have had a chance to peek into the Senate Secretary's office, the Joint Committee rooms, the East and West Committee rooms. In the East and West Committee rooms, you will find 2 very large portraits. Over here, Marie Antoinette. Over here, her husband, Louis XVI, King and Queen of France. These portraits were a gift from the French to the United States government. France was some of our strongest allies during the American Revolution. These are copies of the portraits. The original portraits are in Washington, D.C. 1800, nation's capital goes to Washington, D.C. This building goes back to its original function, that over Philadelphia County Courthouse.
Are the colors in here the way they were then?
Yes, the colors that you're seeing are authentic. You may want to take a minute or two, take your photographs. As you exit the Senate chamber, keep in mind there's a small step down into the hallway. When we get to the end of the hallway, we'll be going down the staircase to the left.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
Basically, that's all gallery. You see the steps in the door there. You see the stairs. Sometimes all those tours are full.
Okay.
So say a 4 o'clock tour, you only have
I don't know, I'm so bad, honestly.